talking about creating rituals. Are you looking for inspiration regarding creating rituals? Have you gotten to a point where you want some kind of rules or structure or something like that, but nothing too restricting? Well, you arrived at the perfect video for that. This is what I think creates a great ritual: intention, imagination, sound, and elements, okay? And with those things, we bring it all together and we have a great ritual. A ritual for transformation, a ritual for bringing something new into your life, manifesting something new, maintaining something that's important to you. Whatever it is, rituals have great use in our lives, and it helps us break away from the mundane way of approaching life and things. So here we go. Let's break down the elements of a ritual, and that's really my goal for you guys today, is to have these elements, and then from there, it's up to you to be creative and figure out how you put them together. I think you're also going to find that in your own daily practice of you do rituals all the time. So now you're going to start doing it with more intention, which is often missing from our daily rituals that we do. We do things, we don't realize that this everyday thing that we do can be added with an intention, and next thing you know, things transform in a really fun way. So that's what this is about. So let's break down intention. Intention is, of course, whatever it is that you are wishing to bring forth, change, or move, or maintain. That must be pretty much what you start with. You want to have an intention, okay? And that doesn't mean, let's say you're having that ritual, it means I want you to start thinking, let me bring intention to this everyday thing that I'm doing. All right, so let's talk about sound. Sound can come in many different forms. Through mantra, repeating a mantra. I have a video on how to create your own mantra. I think it's still up there. Song, creating a song. We see this in church all the time. One aspect of the ritual of church is the choir singing, okay? Speaking in tongues. We learn how to speak in tongues on this channel, so if you guys don't know how to do it, if you're interested in doing it, go find one of those videos. Very wonderful tool when you are seeking to use sound but not necessarily wanting to speak in English, right? Bells, instruments, harmonica. The drum has been a big tool in many different cultures all throughout the world. So sound is a nice thing to bring something in resonance. It's all about aligning and creating a sense of energy alignment with sound. So that's one thing I feel like is an important aspect of a really good ritual. What you're really trying to impact in ritual is your subconscious mind. You're the one that you are seeking to influence more than anything, because if you believe it inside and out, then it becomes real, right? As above, so below, as within, so without. So that's what you're seeking to impact. So if it's through a harmonica, if it's through a drum, if it's through something that you've created, if you're a beat maker, think about what that means. It's resonance. It's aligning yourself to your greater vision, programming your subconscious mind over and over and over again. Imagination. Imagination, I think, is so important, because I think it's one of the things that some people lack, and it's okay. You can start to develop it in many ways. So one way you can use your imagination is using visualization. Visualization is one of the things that we always say, but some people will honestly say, like, Cook, hey, I understand what you're saying, but I really have a hard time keeping a visual image in my mind. So I'm like, all right, cool, move forward. Statues. Right? Having some visual thing that represents where you're going. So let's say you found out Ganesha means remover of obstacles, right? And so you bring a statue that represents that intention. All right? How about doll making? You can start making dolls. Of course, we see that in what people feel like voodoo's about, but you can do this with anything. Making dolls to represent something, some kind of change. So using your imagination. The altar is a great way to stimulate your imagination. Now you have a canvas, if you will, to change and shift things and help fuel that intention. And I should also say painting, a canvas, drawing. For all you artists out there, really see what happens with that. You know, I like the idea of if I have a vision or something and I find that it's pushing me forward in the way that I want to go that's aligned with my intention, it's nice to bring that out in an image. All right, check out my Instagram for that. Grimoire. A grimoire is known in the witch or Wiccan community as well as a book for witches to keep all of their spells. But this physical thing now is this example of your imagination. A storytelling song. So now you're incorporating sound, but now the song is more than just about sound. It's also about beginning to use your imagination to tell a story. All right, and now you're holding that you're holding that energy through the song. Ooh, that's powerful. Now we're starting to combine things and bring things together. And another thing is a short story or a novel. Some of our greatest acts of magic have been through books. Think about those stories that have inspired you over time, and stories that, especially if you look in the griot tradition of telling your story and your history through words and through spoken word over and over and over again. That's magic. That's weaving, if you will, a spell. Elements. Now, I took some time on elements, so if you see me looking down, it's because I'm reading all the stuff that I wrote, because I really took some time to think about this. And this is the part that I think can get blown to the wayside, especially for people like me who like everything to be done in their mind. But I recognize the power of using our physical nature for ritual and the power of it. So I'm going to break it down. And I'm using the elements that you'll see more in Greek, Vedic, ancient Egypt, and even through our astrology chart, okay? Chinese actually have a different aspect to it. So now you know where I'm headed, okay? So water. Now, when you think about water, when you're creating a ritual, think about this. Think about regular water, bodily fluids. Think about liquor. Think about rain. Think about ocean water. Think about Florida water, which people use a lot in magical practices, especially hoodoo. Taking a bath and ritualizing that aspect of your life. Think about kombucha. I mean, that's just because I drink that. Tea, soda, green smoothies. So think about the fluids that you're in contact with and see how does that incorporate into your greater intention that you have for whatever it is that you are creating, this ritual that you're creating or that already exists. And then think about the purpose of water. And I say slow, seeping, penetrating, flowing, fast, disastrous, rebirth, the idea of being reborn, right? So now let's go to fire. Now, how do we access fire in our lives? Through just straight up creating a fire. Think about the campfire. Think about candles, lamps, light bulbs, right? So it doesn't always have to be this exact blaring fire in your face for it to be a powerful ritual. It could be the way you turn lights on and off in some interesting way. Breath of fire. You could be bringing up the heat in your body through exercise, through doing the practice called breath of fire, where you contract your abdomen and you bring up fire and heat into your body. Doesn't always have to be this, like I said, blaring fire. Exercise, sexual energy. People always say sexual energy is about fire and desire. So, can we say sex magic, anyone? So think about the purpose of that. It's fast acting. That's what fire is about, right? Clearing, destroying. Think about destroying bad habits or limiting beliefs, things that you want to let go of. So think about what element would actually relate to your greater intention and how to use it, okay? Transforming, purifying. I asked one person, I said, well, when you think of fire, what do you think? They're like, the devil. And I was like, okay, well. And then I started to break down fire from like, oh. Think about what fire is about. Warmth. How does that relate to your intention? Earth. Earth, you can get paper. Paper is from the earth, right? Soil, plants, ash. So you have a fire, now you have ash. The altar, once again, is that grounding aspect. Physical objects in general can represent the earth. Seashells, sand. Think about things that you have access to on a regular basis. You go outside and grab a rock, crystals. So these are earth elements, all right? And what are they about? They're nourishing, right? Remember the earth, we get all of our nutrients and life from the earth. Foundation, creates a strong foundation. Grounding, and a big word that we all love, manifesting, right? The earth has a sense to manifest something. So let's say you're trying to bring something forth, an idea, something that you want to see in your physical life, and it might be physical. It'd behoove you to use a physical representation like the earth to bring it forth. Like the earth is birthing something new. Even something like soil on your altar could be a wonderful representation of you bringing something new. Air, breath, deep breathing, outdoors, the fan, the wind. Think about air. Think about the flute. You know, now we're incorporating sound and air, how the air moves through those wind instruments, the clarinet, the sax. All of a sudden you are now changing the winds of time. So think about the purpose of it, change, right? The shift. Right? The flow. Air has an element, a natural way of being. So if you're trying to flow into something easy, if you're trying to shift into something, if you want it to be fast, if you want to be slow, think about the way you can use air elements to bring that about in your rituals. When you're breathing and you're exercising exercising is a beautiful use for ritual, just so you know, because you're using so many different elements. You're bringing up the heat in your body. You're sweating if you're really bringing it about. So now you have water coming out, seeping, cleansing, and purifying. And then you have air, nourishing, moving, and essentially giving you energy. Remember, spirit and wind, air. So you're bringing in this concept of ether and also the unknown and the vast into this ritual of yours. Now we put it all together. We have the elements thrown in there, we have intention, we have imagination, and we have sound. And you put all that together in any way you want, and you have a really, really great ritual on your hands. So I encourage you guys, if you want to share, what rituals have you come up with that you don't mind sharing, and put that in the comments. Brief ways that you found to use your everyday life to create new rituals, and ways that you might be doing that today. No matter what you do, your intention is the most powerful aspect, and of course also your imagination and the way you're able to be creative and bring things about in different and unique ways. All right? Magic.